Hey guys, this is your introduction to the American Gothic time period. And so we have this idea of something we call brooding romantics. Basically, what that means is that not all American romantics were optimistic or had faith in the goodness of people. Some of them, the brooding romantics, they followed a complex, very complex philosophy filled with darkness and a deep awareness of the human capacity to be evil. So, Gothic tradition was firmly established in Europe before American writers had made names for themselves. First became popular in Europe in the mid 1700s. You could see gargoyles visible in gardens starting in the Middle Ages. We saw it also in German literature first, very popular with the writers, with female writers, especially a lot of them who became bestsellers. American Gothic lit, like I just said, not all romantics were optimistics. There's something that we call anti-transcendentalists, which means the same thing as a brooding, as brooding, and they had an awareness for the human capacity for evil, and they asked themselves what motivates human behavior, emotions, nature, the individual, and the unusual. So some of the elements of American Gothic literature would be grotesque characters, bizarre situations, violent events, the unknown, demonic characters and demonic themes, and insane people. Edgar Allan Poe is the author of what we're going to read today, The Raven. He was born in 1809, died in 1849. I'm sure you guys know who he is by this point. During a life marked by pain and loss, he explored the dark side of the human mind, made his feelings of sadness and depression the basis of a distinctive body of literary work. He was haunted by death, so we call him one of literature's most brilliant but erratic stars. He lived a very unstable life. His father abandoned him as an infant. At 3, his mother died of tuberculosis. He married his cousin in 1836 when she was only 13. She died after 11 years of marriage, and suddenly he became brokenhearted and he died 2 years after that. So, to make ends meet, he struggled to support his family financially. He spoiled most of his jobs with his erratic behavior and angry bursts, had most of his success without anyone's help or permission, so he did a lot on his own. So the tortured soul, some of those themes are madness, untimely death, obsession, some of the things that he wrote about. Poe's life and work reflect the deepest divisions of self, the conflict of beautiful ideals and dark impulses. His works were also very suspenseful, full of suspense. His stories have settings that feature dark medieval castles, decaying ancient estates. There's even some basements and things like that. Characters that are male, insane, and females were mostly beautiful and dead or dying. Plots that included murder, live burials, physical and mental torture, retribution from beyond the grave. And so for Poe, it was only in these extreme situations that people revealed their true nature. And so that's what he preferred to write about. The death of Poe on October 7th has remained mysterious. On 1849, on October 3rd, the American author was found delirious in Baltimore, Maryland, in great distress and in need of immediate assistance. He was 40 years old. He was buried after a small funeral at the back of Westminster Hall and burying ground, but his remains were moved to a new grave with a larger monument in 1875. The newer monument also marks the burial place of Poe's wife, Virginia, and his mother-in-law, Maria. Theories as to what caused Poe's death include suicide, murder, cholera, hypoglycemia, rabies, syphilis, and influenza, basically the flu. Evidence of the influence of alcohol is strongly disputed. So some people think he drank himself to death, but a lot of people believe that's not true. Okay, so just a little introduction to American Gothic literature. So after you view that, you want to go back to the Thursday, Friday folder, and you want to make sure you have this PDF open. Okay, so this is where you'll follow along with the story in a little while. So I would just open it in a new window. Okay, and so you're going to view this Prezi because it has audio with it. It's actually pretty neat. If it doesn't pop up for you, just click this arrow in the right-hand corner, and it will take you to the Prezi. You want to click play. You can make this bigger if you would like to, as soon as it loads. You're going to follow through the Prezi. The way you do that is by clicking the arrows right here. You can make it bigger by pushing this. And you're going to learn about mood and tone again. It's going to give you a little refresher because you're going to need that. Eventually, you're going to come to a screen. I'm going to talk about the birth of the raven, the tone and the mood. You can click on these, okay? It'll give you a little preview, okay? So you just keep clicking. Anything that looks like you can click on it, you want to click on it. And then once you get here, almost there, to this slide, if you click on this, it's going to read the raven out loud to you. It's very important that you listen to that. It also gives you the raven in Simpsons pop culture, so it's kind of cool. You can hear the two different versions. Okay, and then when you're done with that, you want to go back to your assignment in Schoology. And click on the actual assignment. The PDF is right there too, because you will need it to get some text evidence. And so you have some questions to answer. Okay, the first one, what is the tone in the poem? Give 2 examples of text evidence. So here, I kind of did some sentence starters for you. The tone of the author and his poem can be described as, so you really just need one word there, right? Then you give me 2 examples that he uses in the poem to create that tone. Okay, so if you go back to your assignment down here, there's some tone and mood words for you to help you with that. Okay, so if you click on that, it's going to show you some positive, negative, neutral tone versus mood words. Okay, so use that document to help you complete this. The next one asks about the mood. So same thing, the mood I feel when reading the poem can be described as, give me 2 words that make you feel that way from the poem, and then give me an image as well that represents the mood. The last one is thinking about what the raven symbolizes in this poem. Okay, what do you think that bird symbolizes? Okay, think about it. When you see a raven, what does it remind you of? What color is that raven? Okay, why a raven and not another animal? You need to think about those things. Okay, do your best. Try to answer that question about symbolism on your own. If you're struggling, let me know so I can help you.